JaKory whined. What? She said, her voice high-pitched. We've been dying to swim for weeks. I'm not giving that up just because the weather won't cooperate. Besides, those kids are swimming, so why can't we? She meant it rhetorically, but it sounded more like a plea. We were silent for a beat, looking at each other. Then Maritza opened the door, covered her frizzy dark hair with her towel, and dashed out into the rain. JaKory and I looked at each other, already knowing how this would play out, before we grabbed our own towels and followed her. It was pouring. My feet were instantly soaked, and the towel over my head was useless. In a matter of seconds, the rain got worse, pounding down on us. We caught up to Maritza as the wind picked up, and the trees started dancing. Another crack of thunder shook the sky. "Maybe this wasn't my smartest idea," Maritza shouted. "You think so?" JaKory shouted back. We hovered at the pool gate, gripping the bars. Water was moving across the pool like sea spray, and the guys and girls were howling with delight. One girl was floating on her back with her eyes closed, water hitting her from every direction. I looked at my two best friends. Their eyes were fixed on the kids in the pool, and they looked as inexplicably scared as I was. "I'm going back," JaKory yelled. "Unlock the car." Maritza turned with him, her key already pointed toward the car. But I couldn't tear my gaze away from the pool. "Codi!" Maritza called. "Come on!" I took one last look and ran after my friends. It hadn't rained on the first day of summer in years. I knew this because for the last 5 years in a row, Maritza, JaKory, and I had gone swimming on the first day of summer. It was tradition to meet at my house, pack a cooler full of snacks, and flip-flop our way through the burning late May sun to the clubhouse at the front of my neighborhood. Clubhouse sounds bougie, but all the neighborhoods in the suburbs of Atlanta had clubhouses, and all the clubhouses had pools, and all the pools were filled with toddlers in soggy diapers, and kids who'd just finished swim team, and brave mothers who'd recently moved down from the Midwest or Northeast and were hoping to make friends in this transient, half-Southern, half-everything-else place. And then there was us, 3 teenagers, splashing around in the shallow end, totally engrossed in playing a game of celebrity, or practicing back twists, or guessing what songs JaKory was singing underwater. We'd started this tradition the day after 6th grade ended. That was the day Maritza and JaKory had shown up at my house with swimsuits, squirt guns, and their summer reading books. And I had been so nervous and excited that I'd painted their portraits as a way of thanking them for coming. Embarrassing, I know. But you have to understand that before that 6th grade year with Maritza and JaKory, I'd never really had a best friend, at least not the kind who lasted more than a single school year. And I knew it was the same for them, because when I'd gone to their houses a few days later, Maritza had taped her portrait to her mirror, and JaKory had tacked his above his favorite bookshelf. "You made me look so pretty and cool," Maritza had said, beaming at me. "My mom said you really captured my essence," JaKory had said, trying not to look too pleased. I'd soaked in their compliments without saying anything, but in that moment, I felt like I'd swallowed the sun. We'd rediscovered those portraits this past Christmas and nearly died laughing. They looked nothing like my friends. Maritza's likeness should have been gawkier, her eyebrows thicker, her nose more beak-like. JaKory's should have captured his knobby elbows, ashy legs, and worrywart expression. I'd painted my friends as I saw them, instead of how the world saw them. And now I was starting to recognize the difference. "You made us look like we were the shit in 6th grade," Maritza had said, laughing, as we passed the portraits back and forth. "Blissful ignorance," JaKory had said, shaking his head in amusement. "Remember when we spent a whole month choreographing dances to that Celine Dion song? We had no idea how uncool we were." "Oh, God," Maritza had muttered, going still. "I think we still don't." I thought about that conversation for weeks after.